DNA part 2, tape 1, take 2.
What up? Welcome back to CTA, season 2 of the DNA series. Excited, super excited if you're joining us. I want to say a big thank you to each and every single one of you. Yani, first and foremost, thank you for watching the whole of the first part, man. You guys have been back to back, kama kappa with us, just following with every single release. You are there asking for the next episode and begging that it will be longer than 20 minutes. I promise this episode will be. Thank you so much for each and every single one of you. I said I'm always going to start like this. So thank you so much for watching. Second group of people I want to thank is those of you who've gone in and taken your hard-earned money and decided to support CTA. As you can see, we're trying to give you as many episodes and as many different culture shaping icons to sit here and to have conversations. So each and every single one of you who has donated, we don't take it for granted. Each of you who've sent your M-Pesa, each of you who've sent your Sendwave, those of you who've gone to MOOC and given through your card, those of you who've given via PayPal. In fact, it's because of PayPal that we've had the food that we're having today. So a big thank you to each and every single one of you. If it's 5 shillings that you've given, we're as grateful as those who are giving 20,000, 100,000, whatever amount they may be giving. A big thank you. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. Second group of people, or is it third? Anyway, whatever number. Those of you who are playing it correct. Yani, you've come through like the flu, God bless you. I'm talking about those of you who've been buying merchandise. Merchandise is currently on different planes to different parts of this country. World. Who would have thought that something that you started a few days ago would have such impact? So a big thank you to each and every single one of you from the States who's buying merchandise, from the UK, Bahrain, South Africa, Dubs, Australia bado, but najua mkoko jam na kam, but a big thank you. And by the different merchandise, I'm talking about those of you who are buying the hoodies like you can see on the screen. We've got them in black and white. We've got Snooties, limited version with the blue, but don't worry, as soon as we're done with the blue, we're going to switch to a different color, but those are limited versions, black and white as well, Snooties. We've got the bottles, CTA bottles. Mine was jacked. I need to order myself another one because somebody really liked it. And a big thank you to those of you. You can also get the bottles. Last but definitely not least, we've got the CTA mugs. Merchandise, and we're going to diversify this product. Next shoot, we're going to be having coffee, CTA coffee. Yani this happened to tumefika. But a big thank you to each and every one of you. Last but definitely not least, the last thing I'd like to say is we are down to 68%. 68% of you who are watching this video without subscribing. First of all, I have to say thank you because we started this thing at 88%. So to be down to 68%, it means people have started subscribing. And what we promise to do is there are over 1,500 videos on this channel. You're going to get more. We're not going to stop giving you this content. Before the end of this year, we would have hit over 2,000. So you can imagine how much content we're planning on giving you within the next couple of days. So I'm going to give you 5 seconds to subscribe and then get into the story with none other than my main man, DNA. So you've got 5 seconds, and if you've subscribed, we'll hit that like button, take this video, go and share it into different WhatsApp groups. It helps the algorithm. 4 seconds, hit that subscribe. 3, 2, 1. A big thank you for you who've watched it this far without skipping. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to season 2 of The Playhouse. With us, we've got none other than the Bazenga, the Bazoo, the greatest rapper of all times ever in Kenya. None other than Wamai and Aizo help me out here. None other than DNA.
The realist.
The realist.
Welcome.
Welcome.
You are now rocking with the realist.
We're rocking with the realist.
Unajua nini bro kusema ukweli?
Yeah.
Umesema ukweli.
Why?
What you just said. I mean, it's true.
The greatest rapper.
Bro.
Your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
Bro, your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, bro. Go argue with your mammy, man. So, thank you so much, bro. Part 1 has been epic. I knew that this interview would go well, but it's taking a life of its own. Thank you so much, bro. Mina shukuru. People are hitting me from everywhere. From school, from the neighborhood, from everywhere. So the feedback is amazing. Tuendelee na kazi, bro.
Tuendelee na kazi.
Tuendelee na kazi.
Okay, do you want to get into this, straight into we continue with this, or do you want to do a recap of what's been up?
We can do a bit of a recap.
Okay.
I want to give a big shout to Tony, the DJ from the 111. Tony was one of the DJs that was instrumental in pushing the song.
By the song, you mean Banjuka 2.
And I've seen guys doing lists of, hey, bro, that was not the biggest song. There was, these songs by Freshly Mwamburi, Akina Jambo Bwana.
Yeah.
Those are all huge songs. I guess I was lucky because the internet ilikuwa imeanza kuingia. So modern songs can reach farther than some of those old classics.
Yep.
But yeah, we had a good time, bro. I remembered also we did a bunch of other songs that really went far. Songs like Una. Una.
Is it when you were doing this?
Yes.
Una.
Ruka, Una, Kanyaga. Bro, it was vibes. It was vibes. And meeting all these famous people was so exciting, to be honest. It was such a new, interesting world. When we finished part 1, we kind of went straight to Sasa Nimerudi Mtaani. But that journey was a big journey. It was a big journey from leaving home, moving to my first house in Westlands, causing chaos. Causing chaos, maze. Kile. Sasa hii house to house unajua tu juu ya kusumbua majirani na lifestyle. But I was learning along the way. I didn't have... Maybe the decisions I would have made different. No regrets, but maybe there's things I would have done different if I had somebody who could get in my ear na nimsikize. In Tanzania, you find a lot of their music has the mentorship. In Kenya, it's just toa bangers kama tumeenda. So that cultural element is missing. So maybe there's a lot of things I did as a pioneer. But we did a lot of good work with the little that we had. We built something meaningful. Tukazunguka Kenya. In that same period, bado nilienda nikapiga mashow, other countries, Rwanda, Uganda.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I did an amazing show with Nameless and Kidum in Kigali. It was crazy. And when the Queen went to Uganda, they called me as well.
The Queen?
Yeah.
Elizabeth?
This is 07, 08, yes.
Damn.
Yes. Man, it was crazy. It was crazy, bro. So we did a lot of shows. Kuna mashow pia nilichoma kusema ukweli. Even as I sit here mentioning people's names, there's shows which I didn't do well because of maybe you're too boozed or umeharibu na vitu kama hizo.
In fact, one of the things that you're telling me off camera is that there's a lot of the studio things that your pals were reminding you that you don't really remember because you're boozed.
Yeah. It was a haze. Wajua ni kuenda, bro. We imagine where we are from. And now it's a whole other league of conversations, talking to companies, talking to, club owners or, traveling, things you've never done. You're the first to do it and you don't have somebody who is holding your hand to end.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. I myself am not... Socializing is something that is not second nature to me. I take time, nikimit msee. Now you're meeting tens, hundreds, thousands of people. So I think a lot of that... The social tension, maybe I tried to ease it with alcohol. And then now it became alcohol abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some people just aren't built for the drink. Yeah, some people just aren't built for the drink. And I guess that's what came to manifest.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very well explained.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's continue this story. So where we left this thing off, umerudi home.
Nimerudi home, nimerudi kwa nyumba ya mzazi.
How are your parents taking you coming back home?
They're relieved to a degree, but bado si ati lifestyle imestop. I'm still on the wagon. I'm still doing those things. Bado tu nataka kuchafua. I'm having fun, but it had become chaotic.
And to a level, kuchapa, meaning money dwindling.
Of course.
Had also the reason why you went back home.
Of course.
It's not that you went back home balling with millions in the account.
No, of course, umebonda do sana. It's the life. But because you can see the end coming, or you can see the downhill, sasa unasema, I need to catch myself before everything gets messed up. And whatever it is that, causes you to open your eyes, ni sawa, whatever it is.
Exactly, it's true that.
As long as it works. So I moved back home. Kuna hizo delusionment bado. You still want to live the adult life ya mtu mzima, but sasa essentially uko kwa keja ya msee. Kuna mwenyewe huku si kwako. Now you can't be running around in your parents' compound acting a fool, maze. Si ati niko kwa nyumba now, but I'm still in their presence.
So you took the SQ?
Yes.
Okay.
Nikachukua SQ. There's an SQ we have called Sobibo. There's an old movie called Escape from Sobibo. Yeah. So I nicknamed it Sobibo. Endo ilikuwa spot ya my boys. I lived there. My bro lived there. Yeah, just so that you're not also bumping heads and you have your own little space. So I moved back there. I'm back in the neighborhood. It's nice in a way because you're seeing friends you haven't seen for a long time. But at the same time, it's not what you had planned for. So iko na challenges zake. But kujireinvent, nimerealize hiyo kitu watu wengi huogopa. Kujirepackage, taking time to see clearly before you make the next move. That thing, many people avoid it. And you continue down the same path.
Because it's a prison, man. It's a prison before the palace. And you were in Potiphar's house. Things were good. For you to make it to the palace, you've got to make a painful switch.
You have to make a move.
And it's down.
Yeah.
Before going higher.
Destroy and rebuild. Kama ile example ya...
destroy and rebuild. I like it.
Destroy and rebuild, yeah. Sometimes it's very necessary. Destroy and rebuild. So that you can build something better. In the Bible, there's this analogy of God is a potter and we are the clay. Alafu anaishape, alafu anaona it makes sense. And destroy. Let's do it again. I like that analogy because it's the truth. You can be going in the wrong direction, you can be doing the wrong thing. Bado destiny yako iko mbele yako, but umeanza kupotea. So, destroy, rebuild.
And let me ask these questions because I felt the passion of you talking about this in the times that we've been having this conversation. You're a father at this time.
I'm a father at this time. Jay amezaliwa.
But there's complications with Jay's mom.
No, it's complications with me.
Oh.
Jay's mom hana kesi. Mimi ndio niko na kesi. Because nimekuwa mzazi haraka kuliko vile nilikuwa nafikiria. So nimereact. Ile, mazeni aje. But when I moved back home, and then this lifestyle of booze nikaendelea nayo kiasi, but it came to a head where I realized haiwezi. Also my dad made it clear, bro. Kuna vitu haziwezi happen hapa hivi. And so when you go back to a place where you had roots. After nitoke home, sasa unajua tumego crazy, ni rockstar life. But you come back and you start remembering yourself in a way. And then you start saying, hey, by the way, maze kusema ukweli, I'm from so far. Let me not mess everything up.
At this time, are you feeling like, in the beginning, you had the dreams to be a millionaire. So you had something you're chasing.
Yes, and I ticked that box.
Yeah, and you ticked that box.
Yes.
But now you're failing.
But now
you've become a failure.
In that perspective, you've become a failure. But I still have the wherewithal to know I'm the one who decided to do this. So, kuifanya tena, ain't no thing. And when you read enough books, or when you're a student like me, I'm a student of the game with the music, but also with life. Kusema ukweli. My father is a reader. And that one I would say just fell onto me because I'm a reader as well. And
umetaja as somebody who unfortunately has tried to beat himself to try and learn to read, but then I think the foundation in which I was being taught to read sort of dented me. I'm a consumer of information.
That's what is important.
I consume it like crazy.
Kuna wase ni hapa, kuna wase. It's different ways of learning. Like we were saying, Africans, most of how we learned was passing stories down. But for me, that format works.
Yeah, but bro, you've been dropping nuggets. Like you've mentioned like 30 books here.
Good books.
Yes.
Yeah, books have changed my life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a book that helped me to see my destiny when I was quitting school anyway. The Napoleon Hill book. So you're not embarrassed coming. I mean, you're not. You have hope that you can do this again. That's of course. Kuna kale casting
ain't no thing but a chicken wing.
Yes, kuna kale your pride is scratched kidogo. Just like when I repeated Form 4, now you're with Form 3s. And it's guys who maybe you are giving a hard time or pushing them around, sasa uko now, or they were your juniors, now they're your equals. You just have to calibrate quickly. So all the reading had showed me that mwanaume lazima teremke ndio apande vizuri. That's just how the game is. Yeah. So if you can hold on to that, if you have a sense of purpose, unaweza vumilia hizo stories za bro na niaje uko mtate na niaje. Because that move malizas a lot of guys.
Yes.
When things go, your money gets low, unaingia mtaa, alafu unasema it's over. I don't believe that.
And I realized it's not you beating yourself that finishes you. It's your perception of what others think about you.
Because you're walking around saying sasa wananicheki, hawaoni vile, yani siko vile nilikuwa, but...
Na wase ukweli wanaongea.
Of course.
Well, let's be real.
Bro, you're the vibe in the... Come on, man.
Mzee ndio alikuwa na jisikia. Nilikwambia huyu wasanii.
Wasanii unaona sasa msanii na komtaa tena, but now this is where this self-esteem, there's a verse where Kanye West said, I use the arrogance as self-esteem to power my dreams. There's times when you have to protect your dream by not allowing the negative energies to come to you. In my hood, I've seen many guys who've gone up and down. Some were like athletes, msana shinda marathon kubwa, you blow a bag. But these stories are everywhere of guys who blow a bag. There's a million stories. If you allow that to be the narrative, uta go down mentally. But pia mtaani meingia nitoke. I'm a firm believer that mwanaume kutoka mtaa ina make difference kubwa sana. Hata ukienda urent kanyumba mazi sijui wapi. To be away from this safety net of the place you're from, it makes a big difference. Tuseme Kenya kitambo, there was this thing called NYS where it was kind of mandatory. And in a bunch of other countries also, young people have to provide service to their country as they're transitioning, going to do other things. There's something about mwanaume kutoka mtaani, bro, that fixes your head. Unaacha kukua mtoto wa mami. I don't know if that makes any sense.
It does.
Yeah, because I've seen so many guys get stuck in the place they came from. So you don't ever see other things. So mi nimerudi mtaa. Of course, kuna hiyo rough and tumble ya, oh my God, I'm here. I don't have the freedoms I had. Nimeacha my homies huko. But hata huku bado huku natesa. Niko mtaa, bado nafanya 1-2. And then it gets to this point where I'm like, it's a conviction that fell on me, I think. I said, man, I have to change my life. I have to change my life. Also, God started sending me signs. Bro, this will not end well. Because even prior to that, I'd been in so many things, bro. Car crashes. Man, I was with a friend yesterday who I was in a car crash with. Man, so many close calls, bro. Too many close calls. Mna drive, mumelala. Na mko kwa barabara, bro.
Bro, have you ever heard my song called Angel? Kutoka club straight to the car and you were drunk vibaya.
Yeah.
It's about that. Falling asleep.
Man.
And you come out and you realize you had angels surrounding you. That's why you didn't die. But people have died.
Bro, I slept once on Chiromo hapo, bro. And I was whipping it, 160, 170. Someone screamed, that's when I woke up. No. Like, yeah, so...
Did you crash?
Yeah, of course. We mentioned in part 1, time when I limed the roundabout, it wasn't a joke. It was serious. And then there was more than that one.
Yes.
And then there's these hospital visits, alcohol poisoning. Kuna vitu mingi sasa imeanza kuwa, hey boss, this is too much. And then getting off the liquor is so hard, bro. Getting off the liquor is like an exorcism. People who've drank properly can tell you. If you drink nicely, kwanza ukishaanza kufika hizi miaka madhate kuendelea, you drink nicely for like 3, 4, 5 days. But when you're getting off the booze, you feel like things are crawling on your skin. You start hallucinating, you see funny things, bro. Alcohol withdrawals are no joke. They're the hardest to get off. Liquor is the hardest thing to get off of by yourself. It can take your life.
Did you go to rehab?
Of course. After. Bado hatujafika rehab, bro.
Oh,
relax. Relax.
Take a chill pill, bro.
Bado hatujafika rehab. Bado hapa ni kupambana nayo.
What do you mean after? So kuna hey, okay.
Bado. Rehab tutaenda bado. What I did though, at this point now when I said, I need to change my life. What do I do? The thing I knew was God. Wacha niokoke. Hey, mazee nikaambia God, Joe, nitoe kwa hii pombe because this invisible prison called booze is too strong.
It's too strong.
It's too strong. Bro, unafanya bland, unasema, I'll never drink again. Aki, you blow money, you do stupid things, and then you tell yourself, I'll never drink again. And then you don't even last a day or a week.
You beat yourself.
You find yourself drinking. That's when now, and that beats your self-esteem and your self-image. You start feeling useless. that I can't control myself. But at the time, I didn't know what was wrong. So I got saved. My parents, of course, were very happy about this. Nikaanza hii safari ya sasa, mi nimeokoka, and I love the music, so situpige tu gospel. As I'm figuring out this part, I decided to first cut ties with the old world. With the old world. So now I said, first I need to cancel everything. Yenye imeshikana na hiyo. I had shows booked up for Australia. I was going to do Melbourne, Sydney, Perth. I killed that show. I killed that tour.
And you'd have made some good money.
Of course. Of course. But I knew. Nikienda tu mahali kuna binadamu is on. Na ukishashika ya kwanza.
It's over.
It's over, bro. Inaitishanga. There's a friend of mine called Ibrahim Sama, inaitishanga. That's how it feels. Like when you kick it off, you have to keep going.
And let me ask you, when you do these gigs, actually, so when I would do gigs, I was managerless. I was my manager. So did you have a manager that you'd go for the gigs with?
Sometimes I would go with Mutas. Shout to Mutas. Sometimes I would go on my own. It made no difference. I'm head honcho, bro.
Yes, I get what you mean.
Nani ataniambia kitu. Guys will say, Edi unakunywa sana, but it's just words.
In fact, you're here because of me.
Me, I'm the guy, bana. Me, hizi lap zote ni juu yangu. Tukienda mahali, ladies are pulling up because of me. Liquor is flowing because of me. So, there are guys who don't also want to disrupt that.
Yeah.
Itaribu flow, maze. These houses jumping. These places where it's at. So, and this world also, I realized I was not selfish enough in the beginning. I was not healthily selfish. Unafaa kuwa selfish to a degree. Because guys are getting what they came for from you. What are you getting? Yeah, so I didn't have that part of the equation. I was just happy to have people around me and doing all these things. But
they were feeling that sadness for you.
They're feeling, and unasikia poa, unaona watu hapa, bro, it's midday, other guys are in offices working hard, nyi mko hapa maze, kuna madame, kuna booze, mna have a good time. Hey, it was crazy, bro. A bunch of my friends lost their jobs hanging out with me. Ukiingia tu kwangu, bro, utasikia tu shika. Hey, now they say, I've just popped out for lunch, let me go and see the homie. Hey, go and see the homie.
That guy just reminded me of an lyric I had. But every time I want to quit, anyway, I hear the sip, then I got the sound effect of psst.
Yeah.
That sound.
Bro,
You know.
How many times have we tried? After that show I did with Nameless and Kidum in Kigali, and when I did that show, I was messed up. Like, I had just said, I'm going to stop drinking. I needed to stop drinking to be able to do the show. Because in ile pombe ya, ukikunywa, you're out of control. You're not sharp, you can't deliver, you can't, you're sloppy. I would say you're sloppy. So when I did that show in Kigali, bro, I was going through withdrawals. It was rough. And I didn't take any medication. I didn't see a doctor. My doctor had always told me, Dennis, when you want to stop drinking, come and see me. I didn't understand why. I thought, like, I come and see you for what? Then I tried to quit on my own. Ukiona sana amka 5 a.m. kutafuta pombe, bro, see jokes. It's real. So I did the show in Kigali. I didn't do a good show. It was a very, very big show called East African Party. I just knew it within myself. My body is not healthy. I can't, hauna appetite. Joja kunywa pombe, so your tummy is locked up. There's so much that comes with heavy drinking that you can't see when you're beginning. So I came back to Kenya. I was so proud of myself. Like, fine, I just did an average show according to what I believe. But at least I'm sober. I touched down from Kigali, naingia nyumba. That time I was living in Langata Ngei 1. One of my homies pulled up maze with a boti. I just saw him and I knew it's back on. And in Langata, Langata was so accessible. All my homies just pull up. So tunaishi mimi na Cobs, we have someone living in the SQ, but yeye ni mtoi wa mwenye nyumba. And hata yeye maze tulimkula pressure. Maze mabash 24/7 chaos. Yeah. So when all these things happen and I realized I have to change my life and I pursue God, and I actually felt something like, hey, I feel like there's a change. Belief is so powerful. And then I said, fine, now I'm walking the walk. Mi sasa nimekuwa Mkristo, wacha tuingie hii zone, tujue ni aje huku.
So did you leave Does that mean leaving the people who you are always hanging out with?
I had to. Big changes require sacrifice. It's so painful. Because I can't roll with my guys. Nikienda na asi nitakunywa pombe. That's guarantee. So lazima nianze fresh. But also when your money starts getting low,
yes,
you know how it goes.
Yeah.
That's how it is. So I learned that the hard way. Everybody has their life. When you're the life of the party, you think everything is about you. But when things start changing, utarealize, bro, hapa kila msee ako mambo yake. So I began this new journey in earnest. I cancelled all the show opportunities I had. I started doing interviews with the mainstream newspaper. By this time, niko na marafiki wazuri sana. Shout to John Moshiri. Shout to Philip Mwaneki. These are guys who really helped me to put my messaging out there all through my career.
Nice.
When Pinye said no, these guys were saying yes. And shout to Steven Zimwendo also from The Pulse. The guy at The Pulse who didn't like me was some other guy, but Stevens really went out of his way for me. So shout to Steven Zimwendo also. And
so what, you'd reach out to them and tell them,
yeah, like, I want to do an interview. I want to tell guys,
yeah,
I'm saved. I want to tell guys I'm doing gospel music. They'll take time. My boys walikuwa wameniamini. Jumini likambila Godfather, which was also very, I think, impressive to some of them. Like, this guy just worked his way into this position. But hakuna mashida zake, but we continue. And my dad had told me, when you put yourself out there, you remove the space for rumors to exist. So since you've had this career and you have big songs, but also you have this reputation of sometimes, when kijana mbaya or whatever the case may be, just create the narrative before people create their own stories. So I went to the big media and I said, maze mi nimeokoka, I've stopped doing music, mi nimeokoka, sasa nafanya gospel. Nikaanza maze with a bang. It was just another mountain to climb. I think I'm addicted to hard things. I think I'm addicted to hard things, to feeling like my back is on the wall. I need that. There's something wrong with me. I need that feeling of back to the wall for me to be able. I don't know. God ndo anajua basi. But now I felt I'm starting a new journey altogether. So the first thing I had to do was pick up some checks, of course. So
what we kept being told is you need community to survive a transplant. Like, this is not something you want to do alone. So I was like, well, I know LA, my church is there. And then we had friends who, like, we knew, but I didn't know so well, but they came in the summer of 2017 to visit Kenya. They're from LA. And while they were here, like, they're both in the medical profession. So one is, we'll just call them Baba and Mama Micah. That's what we call them. And one is an emergency medicine doctor, and the other is a nurse practitioner. And they had one son who was 17 and getting ready to start his final year of high school. And while they were with us, they said, well, if you come to LA, like, let us know. We have a small guest house that we think we can make work. So, when you don't know what you're signing up for, and, like, it's so good that you don't know what you're signing up for because it's, like, harder than anything you've ever done in your life kind of thing. Like, you go in with okay, like, we can do this. Like, let's just get our ducks in a row and we could do the process. Like, that's the way you go into it. But, oh my gosh, like, we got there, and the first day we were there, so the guest house wasn't ready. So Mama and Baba Micah welcomed us into their house while the guest house was supposed to be ready. Yeah. So we move into their house, and they were so gracious. And Titus kept saying, like, we want to have small footprints because, like, we're in someone else's space. But, like, we had three toddlers. Two of them had, like, significant illness, and then we had a 10-year-old who had never left the village.
Oh my God.
Who did not really speak very much English, who, like she wanted to know, like, when the swimming pool where all the water had come from.
Oh,
like, it was completely it was completely like, what is happening? Well, also, because the way surnames work here, none of us have the same last name. So, like, and then, like, for Sharon, we go to the U.S. Embassy, and they're like, okay, what's your birth date? And she's like, I don't know. And she's like, well, honey, that's your assignment. And I'm like, well, we don't know when her birth date is. Like it's totally made up. But like that disconnection of like reality versus like your lived experience.
Wow.
So we moved into this family's home and they welcomed us and they received us and we stayed for 477 days. But in the middle of those 477 days, yes, because at some point it was like, this is too much. We can't send you anywhere. Like, we need all hands on deck. Because within a day of us arriving, Ryan was in the hospital. He was so sick.
Oh my
so,
God.
like, we moved in, and then I went to the hospital with Ryan for 10 days, and I left my kids and Titus, like, in their home. I mean, it was just chaos,
No. How long do you wait from the day you find out when Ryan's crying
Yeah.
to...
It's 6 months, and now this is at 17 months. So we've had nearly a year. Wow. Nearly a year, and he's
before going to States.
Yeah, and he had been sick so much of the time. And Titus, like, really, like, he's so compassionate that he was the one a lot of the time that was up in the night just holding him while he was crying.
Oh my God. And then, how soon before you become parents to these other three?
So that was it was like within another 6 months. So Ryan's got his diagnosis in September. By like April, May, the others were with us.
Oh my! And then by when are you in States?
And then we went in September. Yeah, September of 2017. And then like the transplant team, so we started in another hospital, like Ryan's really sick, and then we're trying to figure out, okay, because there was a piece of me that's like, we've come, we're just going to get it done. It's like I had it really like compartmentalized of like, this is going to be hard, but they're going to be cured and we're going to go back. And it's like it was so like, it's what I probably needed to do. And it was so disconnected from what was going to happen. Yeah. So we started with Ryan's transplant, and it's like full on chemo. You're in the hospital.
Oh my God.
And then after 10 days, then like you begin to see all the side effects. And what ended up happening is we had been told about all these, well, you do the transplant and then you wait, and you've killed their immune system. So any virus, anything like that would be normal for us, it will actually, like, it's life-threatening to these kids because, like, you've taken their immune system and now you've put their sister's bone marrow into them, and you wait and you pray that it will grow and you pray that their body will accept it. And so it's curative, but it's also like you have to die, basically, to have a chance for cure. And we knew it, and it's one thing like to like have it as in your head, and it's a whole nother thing to like sit and wait. And then for Ryan, like he ended up having like severe complications to the point where he was in the ICU on a ventilator. And I just remember thinking like, this isn't how the story was supposed to go, because like we were so close to death. And there was a day where I was sitting in the ICU and he can no longer breathe on his own. And I just thought, I need to write a letter to all of the parents who I've taken care of their children before. Because as much as like I wanted to be compassionate, like I didn't have any idea how much it hurts. And I need to apologize. Wow. Just like, I didn't know how much it hurts. And I remember like feeling like so sad and so disappointed, and not disappointed in God, but just like wanting life and not sure that we were going to get it. And there were a few things like I felt so confident in, like I knew how much God loved Ryan. Like there was like no question in my mind. Like I knew how much he loved him. And I also knew that like there wasn't a promised outcome. Like I've done this care too long and too much, like to feel like he's going to make it, like we were so close to death. And like just to sit and to wait and to hold all of that and to long so much for life. And then to watch like that he didn't die. You know, like we got the gift of his life, and little by little by little, like it took close to a year for him to like really recover, but just to like sit in that space and to hold. And Ella, we had sent to be with my parents, and after Sharon had donated her bone marrow, we sent her to be with my parents. And so it was Joffrey and Ryan who were in Los Angeles.
Now they also had to go through the same process.
Oh, we'd had to do it again.
Oh my God.
So when we went into the first transplant, like I built a nest, like fully, like I need the right pajamas. I need a Kenyan flag. I need people to know that that this child has a name and a story, like not in a bad way. It wasn't like, it was just like so much like, can we have the right snacks? Can we have the right things? Like I needed a nest because I was like, if we're going to be here for 60 days or 90 days or whatever, like I need like this place to be safe. And I don't know why I did this, but when I was a kid, leading up to Christmas, we would have these paper chains where every day we would take one chain off, and then at the end, it would be Christmas. I don't know why I did this, but I built a reverse paper chain of like starting with one and every day adding it. And on the first day, I wrote on the paper, "Let the healing begin." Oh. But then like when we were so close to death, and I just like, I told my mom, like, I'm not making another paper chain. And she's like, well, your story's not finished, so you are adding a paper to the chain. And so like she told me like, you're not giving up, like you're adding another paper to the chain, as if that was like what symbolized like what was still life and hope. And it was Christmas, and so there were Christmas lights all below us, and I mean, he was sick to the point where, you know, they had to do CPR and send me to the hallway, and like where I stood in the hallway and prayed and cursed and all of, you know, the things that, because I was by myself, and I was in this row of pictures of these birds called puffins, like who somehow became my friends in that season, like, because it was just like Jesus, like breathed life. But at the same time, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is our story. And so Ryan extubated himself, and so they were doing
extubated meaning
he took the breathing tube out, not like in a good way, like it got dislodged, and so then he was no longer breathing. So they were trying to resuscitate him, and I came back in the room because it just like it felt like this is the end, and yet like it wasn't. And so I come back in, and over days, like he starts to get a little bit better.
And he's like, what, 3 now?
No, he's not even 2. So as I'm...
Not that it's easier for 4
No.
or 5 years.
He's nonverbal. He's a baby, and he looks so little in the midst of all of these machines. And I just sat there and, you know, like held all the moments had. And during that time, I listened to this podcast, and there was this his name's Father G, and he's a Franciscan priest, and he was talking about his mantra, and his mantra is that whenever he goes in to meet with somebody or whatever he's doing, he'll say, "Now, here, this." And as I listened to him say it, it's like, it's the thing that I needed in that moment, as much as like I wanted anything other than the circumstances we had. It was like this invitation of like, will you still be present to now hear this? And it's, you know, it's HERE of where God has you right now, and to love this child that God has allowed you to be his mom. And so Ryan was pretty much nonverbal. going into the transplant. Like, he started to talk when he was 6-7 months, and then he had so much pain that he stopped talking. And when he started to, even before we left the ICU, the only word, like his first word in the ICU is when we were standing, looking out this window, I'm holding him, there's all these tubes, and there's Christmas lights below, and he goes, wow.
Wow.
And I just was like, God, like, please, like hold onto his life, like in the same way that you have saved him before, like save him again and like fill him with wonder. You know, like when he was a tiny baby and I would rock him, and like it was just like, please let this like few drops of formula like stay down. Like, I'd pray that the joy of the Lord would be his strength. And now like we were in this other time where it's like, I'm praying like again. And it was a new season of prayer for me because I was spent. And so it was mostly wordless prayers. It's like, I'm unlearning something that I don't even know what it is, but I'm going to stay here. And I'm going to grow in the love that God has for this child. And I'm going to experience it. And like, please like fill me with wonder too. Like, if he's going to say, wow, like, let me like also lean into that.
Wow. So what about the other two kids?
So,
and does he?
So he gets a lot better. We're still with Mama and Baba Micah. Now, Micah is in his senior year of high school.
Oh my God! He's
The school. He's welcome to the entire. They call us the Kenyans. He's welcome to all the Kenyans into his house, and he's sharing a bathroom with Joffrey and Ella and Sharon. So it's like, God. You know, like we've really moved in. Now, across the street is his high school. And every morning before school and every afternoon after school ends, like 15 to 20 high school students come to hang out. I am telling you, they were among the greatest gifts.
For real.
They became our people. Like, they became this community, and every day they came and played with our kids. And they, like we call them the high schoolers, and there's a lot of them. And now they're adults, and like we're still like close to them. But like the way that like before we did treatment, that someone had said, you need community. Like, I expected it to look like something over here. Instead, it was like 15 high schoolers who just kept showing up every day. And it was such an incredible gift. So Ryan ended up being in the hospital for 60 some days. And then we came back, and then we knew we have to do it again.
Oh, God.
So Ella and Sharon came down for just a month, 2 months. And then we started the process again, and we took Joffrey back in.
So Joffrey goes in now to also get his
bone marrow transplant.
Sharon was the one who was given that.
Sharon, so they were able to take enough bone marrow one time
so that
they could store it
and then do the different transplants.
Yeah.
And is the taking out also a crazy process?
It's under surgery. So we had all 3 of them in the hospital. You know, and in between, like Ryan being like in the ICU, Joffrey would need to come for blood transfusions, and like we were juggling, like it was wild. But all the while, so when Ryan got so sick, Baba Micah just said, I mean, he's a doctor, he's busy, he has a lot of important things to do. He's like, I'm going to drive you every day. And I was like, I can drive. And he's like, yeah, you can, but everyone's asking how they can help you, and this is what we can do. So Mama Micah was at home, like really taking care of our kids and the home. And Baba Micah at 6 a.m. every morning, he would take me down. Titus would do the night shift with Ryan. I would come in the morning. I would stay till like 7 p.m. And then Baba Micah would bring Titus back and then drive me home. And he did it like over and over and over again with Ryan. I mean, it was a kindness Like, I was so moved by kindness during those days. It's like, how did I not ever notice, like, just, I don't know even how to describe it, but it was a really, like, it was a gift. And then when we started with Joffrey, then we did 24-hour shifts. So I would go for 24 hours and Papa Mike would take me down. And then the next day, Titus would go down and then we'd shift. And Mom Micah would do a day and then we would shift. And we did that for an extended period of time. And it was like, it was more than any one of us could do. And it was this thing of like, they didn't know what they were saying yes to, but they continued to say yes. Like, we didn't know necessarily what we were saying yes to, but all of us believed and felt confident, like, these kids are worth it. And like, just how much they became like understanding more of God's heart and like God's, like the Father's heart for us. And I remember a day when, like, so sick. And Ryan was leaning on Titus's chest, and Titus just kept saying, "Me you, me you," which is Kalenjin. It means I am here, I am here, I am here. And like, just watching like Titus, like, as a father, show up in the way that he did. Like, he's not a medical person. I mean, it was like, you talk about like the cost, and also like we got to watch the miracle of them be cured. And it was harder, it was longer, it was darker than we could have imagined. And yet, like, they have 100% of their sister's bone marrow within them, and they are cured. And, you know, it's as you get further outside of it, you know, it's like you look back, like, and we were all wounded by it. Like, you can't not be, but I feel like we also, like, were given the miracle of their lives.
You know, there's so much in this story from everybody's perspective. Like Ella, she's how old? 2 at that time?
So Ella, when we went, she was 4.
She was 4. But that's a 4-year-old who now doesn't have her mom and dad with her.
And I went in knowing, like, she's strong. Like, she's strong, and I need my mom to have her, because if my mom has her, then I can do what I need to do. Like, I need to know that she's okay. Now, what Ella would tell you is that, you know, that she felt like she needed me, you know. So there was a season where she was with my mom and couldn't be with me, and, like, you know, feels the loss and, you know, the wounds of that. And Ella often, even as a 4-year-old, was the mouthpiece for us all. It's like, well, we're all homesick. Like, she was wanting her Maperatrice. She was wanting the village that was on the other side of the world that was not accessible to her, you know? And a season, like, so disorienting because of so many factors, but not also being home was one of them. And she would probably also say, I don't want to speak for her, but she would also say, I think that, like, she knows how important it was, but she also knows, like that it was costly. Like, she wouldn't say it exactly like that, but like, in the sense of, she knew that they needed treatment, but it also meant that she didn't get to be with me, and she wanted her turn. Like, that's what she would say, I need my turn.
I've never had a story like this in my life. I don't understand the kind of strength you and Titus had, the kind of love. You know, in fact, that's it. You know, we talk about love. You went to the living room, which you created as a space for compassion, and there was a baby there. And because you said yes to that baby completely transformed your whole life. That baby being Ryan.
Yeah.
And flipped your whole world upside down. literally. And the only thing that has held you is love. Because even as you give this story, despite the pain, the challenges, every single thing, there's no aspect of bitterness that I feel from this story.
Yeah.
Even towards God for allowing these things to happen.
No, I mean, I think that before I met Ryan, before I met any of our kids, like, God saw them, God heard them, God knew them. You know, like, one of the things that happened during the transplant is, like, I really wrestled with, like, I don't have any words to pray right now. Like, I don't have any words. And I felt like God was saying to me, well, but think about Ryan. Like, when Ryan was born and his mom died and he cried, like, he didn't have words, but you think I didn't hear him? Like, you think I didn't see him? And, like, that's the time where you're establishing trust versus mistrust, is, like, in these initial days of, like, of infancy. And for me, it was like I was back in that place of, like, I don't have words. And it was like I was saying, but you trust that I see you, that I hear your cries, that I'm with you. Like, will you trust me with this? And that's what I feel like. I feel like as hard, like, as painful, as exhausting, like, as much as, like, we experienced, like, well, one, we didn't bury our kids, you know, and I can't tell you, you know, where we would be if we did. Like, I pray that we would still be holding on to what we're talking about, that love, like, that love is enough. I didn't bury my kids. I got to sit on the edge of death and watch them come back to life. And I'm grateful, and I will always be grateful that they lived, but also that we didn't do it alone. Like, God put people in our lives to walk with us, and unexpected people, you know, who are now our family. They are, like, they are our people. They were just here last week again, you know, because they got to be a witness to it too. And they got to walk alongside of us, and it was dark, and it didn't, like, it was unclear if it would ever be light again, truthfully. Like, it's like, you know, when it's so dark, it's like, I can't see any direction. Like, and Titus is like, what have we done? And then we needed to do it again. He's like, I don't want to do it again. I was like, I don't want to do it again either. But, like, what are we going to do? You know, it's like really, really crazy times.
Wow.
And we came back. In January of 2019.
First of all, let me say, just before you continue about this, I now understand why you named Baba Micah.
Micah's house.
Micah's house.
Yeah.
Micah's house. I'm amazed to hear about the kindness of people. Love without actions doesn't exist, huh? And love is not convenience.
No.
And
it's not always
you don't
fluffy.
plan for it.
No. And
I mean, they could have even told you, no, by the way, guys, the guest house, we fixed it now. Now
right.
move.
But at some point, Papa Micah's like, where are we? We're not sending them anywhere. Like, they need all hands to help. Like, this is too much. We signed up for too much. And so we stayed, and we watched Micah finish high school, and
What?
we watched as all the high schoolers went to college. I mean, we were there for Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, and then the next year we were still there, and it's like, and there
God.
was no...
The one who didn't
there
know
was
English probably has an accent now.
Right?
Of that.
Like, her life experience is shaped deeply by that time.
What?
So, but then it was like, there was no clear timeline. It's like, if you know, like, oh, they're going to stay for 3 months, then you put up with that. But it's like, they've come and we said yes, and we don't have, like, an end date.
That's why I'm telling you that. That's why I believe that love was genuine. Because that's insane.
Oh no! If
said
you
how
met
many
them,
days?
they love my kids so much. I mean, they've had to put, like, we really have tried, and it's hard. So we stayed with them for 477 days.
And this, you know that age group of kids.
Oh no, we were a lot, and they were sick, and we did 150 some days in the hospital. So there was a lot of days where we were not all together. Like we were, he was like, okay, who's in the hospital today? And like, it was like that. But what also happened for me is like, I sat in the room as a mother, but I also, like, we run hospitals. So like, I'm watching through the lens of motherhood, but also thinking about, well, do I ask questions that way to patients? Like, that's not very convenient. Why wouldn't we do that a different way? Or that's not very sensitive. Like, maybe we should ask that a different way or think about that differently. So like, I began to have
you got to receive it as
a new framework
a guest, because you don't call your patients.
I was now
Now
I was the guest.
You are the guest in the living room.
I was the guest, and where for so many years I had been the helper, I now needed help. Like, I could not do it without help. And like the brokenness, the vulnerability, like the prayers, like all of it from that side. And then paying attention from that side, like thinking about, but what could it look like as we offer care at Kimbilio, at Living Room Hospital?
I was going to ask you if there's anything that experience, that for God letting you go through that experience, if there's anything that you've taken out of it that you've now...
Yeah, so what I say is that I don't believe that God caused my children to suffer so that I would learn lessons, but I believe that a side effect from that season is, like, I know compassion in completely different ways. Like, I see hospital administration through the eyes of a mom. More than anything else at this point. And I don't apologize for it. Like, I actually think, well, how could we do that different? And how could we think about that?
And you're able to even show the team, you're not thinking about it from this perspective. And
yeah, I mean, it's all kind of integrated, but it's like, I'm not the same person. Like, I came back so different that I couldn't just step back in to the village in the way I left it, because I was no longer the same. And so I had to come back and find my way and trust that the things that I've always said are true for our patients and our guests and our team, like, could also be true for me.
This is a bit of a tough one, but what happened to one of the siblings who...
So Alice.
Yes.
So Alice, we weren't able to have the transplant because we didn't have a donor for her, but we've continued treatment and she's continued to be in the hospital on and off as she's needed it. So we're still exploring treatment options as they become available.
Yeah.
And then again, holding the tension. Like, we have two little, like, there's not equity in our home as far as we have kids who've traveled, we have kids who aren't traveling, we have kids who, are adopted, guardianship, different schools, different levels of treatment, and not because, like, it's a favoritism, but it's just
the situation.
Yeah. And, like, that's not how I would choose to do it, but it's how it's unfolded.
Okay.
So at our home in the village, or here, when everyone's out of school, we have our 5 kids. Ella always corrects me if we say that we have 5, because she always includes the other 4. The other 4 siblings that don't live with us. She says that we have 9 kids.
Wow.
So we have 5 that live with us. And
then this 4, where the other 4?
So the older 4, Jacqueline actually works at Kimbilio in the kitchen. And then David, he has a mental illness that we continue to, like, try to get treatment and really serve him. And then Isaiah and Vivian. And so they've both finished school. Vivian currently is at the Living Room Hospital doing work like cleaning and in the kitchen. And then Isaiah's done a course in like masonry, carpentry stuff. So he's doing that.
Wow. Okay. Let's take a break, a much needed break.
Yeah.
We'll be back in a bit.
We've jumped through hoop after hoop to actually get to the States, and we are working with UCLA to do a bone marrow transplant. So in addition to Ryan and Joffrey, we came with their sister, who's 11. Her name's Sharon, and she is a donor match, and we'll be giving her bone marrow to help save her brother's. We're going to start transplant with Ryan first. The doctors, I think because he's the youngest and has the least complications so far, that he has the best chance of doing well.
Wow, must be so beautiful watching it live.
When it came to where she should live, we said, well, just stay with us for a while. Stay with us for a month or 2 or 3, and we have a big house and there's just 3 of us, and so we'll make it work.
There's always risks with bone marrow transplants. Sickle cell disease with a matched sibling is one of the best case scenarios, and the latest research of what's been happening, it's a close to 95% cure rate. When we met with our hematologist, our bone marrow transplant doctor here, his name's Dr. Moore, and I mean, he repeatedly said this is a life-threatening procedure. Like, he talked about it over and over again, and it's, you know, it's a lot to take in, but at the end he said, but I highly recommend that you move forward with it.
Well, hello, stretch. Stretch.
You have me.
I don't know about that, but yeah. I'm afraid of the process. I'm afraid of the pain that he's gonna have, the suffering that I know will be a part of it. I'm afraid of death. I mean, I take care of dying patients, but I don't want it to be my kids. And yet I know that this is actually the greatest chance they have for life.
It's different when you're being told, and again, it becomes different when you go through it. Being in a place where actually the doctors have a lot of experience, the medical team has a lot of experience, and these are things they've done. It's over several times, but then you find that your baby is being taken out to the ICU. That was quite hard because it's like it was out of their control also. Everyone was in shock.
Like, just complications that I knew were possible, but certainly never imagined would actually come our way.
That was some of the worst, most terrible times. Sorry. There was this innocent kid, and we thought that we'd killed him in that treatment. And to see Juli and Titus just suffering, wondering if you'd done the right thing.
He's so sick, and he looks so sick, and like, the grief of that, the pain of watching him suffer and knowing. Well, I think on Sunday, I felt a little bit like it was a death sentence. By Monday, it felt like this is horrific, but I'm not gonna give up.
Was he gonna make it? And we really didn't think he would. And just the joy on the other side, when he got a little bit better, and a little bit better, and a little bit better, and then when he left the hospital, we were just in tears like we did. We got through it.
Ryan, do you want to come home?
Do you want to come home? Absolutely. Yes. Okay, that is.
That's it. Hey. Yeah.
We love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Yeah. Please visit us when you go. Yeah.
When Ryan was in the hospital, there were people really from, I think, all over the world who knew about his story and were praying for him and praying that he would have life and praying that he would make it through. But I've thought a lot I've gone back to when he was born, and there weren't crowds that knew to pray and that didn't, really weren't asking for him to survive, and yet I feel like God knew that there was a little boy who needed to.
I remember when Ryan was so ill, and I would say to Julie, I don't know how to pray. I can only pray, Lord, have mercy, you know? And then when it got time for Joffrey to go in, all I could pray was just, Lord.
And we have to do it again. And that's going to be hard because we've seen how bad it can get. You know, there is a choice, and that is to not do it and to just love Joffrey and know that he'll have a very short life. He's already had at least one stroke, and we don't even know how old he is, 3 or 4 years old. So you could choose that, but it doesn't seem like there is much of a choice.
Well, we're back to room 3525, and this is where we did the transplant for Ryan like 5 or 6 months ago. And now this is where we're gonna do Joffrey's transplant. It was hard the first time, and yet Ryan doesn't have sickle cell disease anymore, and I want that for Joffrey. And so even though there's a whole lot of emotions and we know it's a long journey ahead of us, it feels like the right, I mean, it's not just a feeling, it's the right next step, and so we're gonna do it.
In Africa, sickle cell disease is terminal 90%, 100% of the time by age 5, certainly by age 10. So this is an opportunity to give him a long life.
Titus and I were just talking about how we know that a transplant is a long process and it's a hard journey, and it's kind of like a roller coaster ride, and so we're holding on and we're asking for healing to happen, and we know that we have to be willing to go for the ride. And so it's one day at a time, and when one day at a time is too long, then we'll do it hour by hour, moment by moment.
There are times where in our griefs, in our trauma,